other runner, and I'm standing here next to Ashley Kaiser at the Refinery in Portland, Oregon. And this is where twice a week I take a class that is called Reboot, and it's a barre-inspired workout that truly kicks my butt. So we wanted to share some of those moves with you. Asked Ashley to put together a workout that really targets some areas that runners have weaknesses in, and by getting stronger, then you're going to be able to go faster, go longer, meet your goals of 13.5.
Toes at 10 and 2, heels press into each other, knees bend out so that they're over the first and second toe, abs in, shoulders back. So we're going to start with an elevated, narrow, athletic V. Your toes are going to be at 10 and 2, heels are together, heels go up, knees bend.
And I just want to say that Ashley is the one who's going to be performing the perfect form, and I am every woman. So, you know, aim to look like Ashley, and if you look a little bit more like me, that's totally fine.
Something that's important before you start is that you tuck the pelvis and that your spine is in line with your shoulders. The tendency is to do this, but we don't want that. Tuck it in, shoulders back. Heels squeeze together, glutes are activated, and you want to go down for 2, up for 2, down for 2, up for 2. One thing that's important when you're running is that you keep your shoulders back and your abs activated. After a while, particularly after mile 5, you might want to do this, but you need to be looking like this. Next thing you want to do is go down for 2, hold, tuck the pelvis, maybe take one arm, maybe take both arms, keep your chin lifted, abs are still armed, neck is long, and you go pulse, down, 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 down. See, Sarah looks really good, but I'm going to make her arms go right up next to her ears.
And then my heel goes down.
And you want to push your heels together. When you push your heels together, your glutes are activated. And you do this for a minute. You should start to feel a burn in your legs. If you want to do a grand finale, hold it for 10 more seconds. The next thing we're going to do is a horse pose. It's a more intense hip opening stretch as well as a strengthener of the inner thighs. What you want to do, tuck the pelvis, open the chest, firm the core, go down to your deepest point,
which might not be very deep.
And you want to go down for 1, up for 1, down for 1, up for 1, down, up, down, up. If your arms feel like they want to do something, you can reach out long. You can hug a beach ball. You'll lift your heels, sink your hips down once more, tuck the pelvis. Maybe your arms go out, pulse, 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 pulse. To work our arms, you're going to need 2 small weights. 1s, 2s, or 3s are just fine. You're standing up straight in primary posture, ankles directly under the hips, bend the knees, shoulders back, abs in, pelvis is tucked. Take the arms straight out, shoulder height, and make small circles. Straight arms. This is a good exercise for runners to practice keeping their shoulders down and back. Face the ceiling, face the back wall. Ceiling, back wall. For another minute. So we'll start to feel heavy on the shoulders. You'll need to remind yourself to press your abs in, keep your shoulders down and back. Next thing we're going to do is hit the tricep triceps and the back. Put your weight in your heels, bend your knees, take your booty far back, but keep your chest open, your abs are lifted. Wrists go higher than the booty line, above where the booty is. And you pulse. Pulse for 1 minute. Your arms are straight, your shoulders are back. Many of the runners that I teach in the reboot tuck their booties. They're not used to using their glutes. I really want you to press into your heels and feel your glutes activated. Another thing that happens is the back is slightly atrophied, so roll the shoulders back and think about squeezing your shoulder blades together. Even though I really just want you to feel your triceps, there needs to be a muscle integration along your entire spine for this to work. Take your palms to the ceiling, reconnect, open the chest, bend your knees, stick your booty back.
I'm trying.
And then make small rainbows. Palms are to the sky, palms face each other. Down and face each other, to the sky, each other. Keeping the wrists at the booty line or above the whole time. Our next move is called diamonds, and every runner knows she needs to do them for hip strengthening and hip flexibility. Firm the core, press the toes together, lift the toes and ankles off the mat. Make sure to be stacked from your hips, on your waist, and on your shoulders. Resist the temptation to look up at your ceiling. You're going to take your knees up and halfway down, up, halfway down. You're going to do this for about 30 seconds while you heat up your hips. And after you've done that for 30 seconds, for 1 minute, you're going to pulse up, up. It's a 1-inch move up. If this is too intense or very uncomfortable, you can take your toes down.
I did that in class.
And pulse up 1 inch from here. You want to be feeling it on the back of your glutes. If you're feeling it in your hip flexor, rotate your top hip toward the floor. Our next move is a glute strengthener. Find your chair or your kitchen counter or your picnic table and get right next to it, left hip next to the bar or stability piece. Take a big step back, drop down, drop the back knee down, straight down, pop up, and slight lean. And repeat, down, pop up, lean over. You might find you feel a little bit like an oil rig, and that is because this is one of our favorite moves here at the refinery. We like strong booties. Drop, lift, slight lean, drop, lift, drop, and lift. Keep pressing through that. Left heel, the front heel, you keep pressing through it, lifting the core, feeling the strength and the burn in that front glute. It's important that your back knee stays directly under your hip. You'll notice with Sarah, her knee is going in front of her hip. Pop up, drop. There we go. Square those hips. And straight for a solid minute. For the last 10 seconds, you'll want to hold. Spine is long, all the way to the ankle, and release. We're going to get into bow pose. Before we do that, I want you to roll your hips back without moving your shoulders. Activate the core and release. Roll back from the lower abs and release. It's called the scoop, or I call it the scoop. Scoop, release. Notice how Sarah's shoulders are moving, but she's still activating her core. You want to do this about 15 times. On your 15th time, scoop and hold. Now we're really going to start working the core in a pose called bow pose. Maybe you stay here and release your hands. Maybe you're able to lift your feet. Keep your chest open. Maybe you can release your hands. I don't want you feeling it in your hip flexors. If you are, lower your feet. If you're not, keep your feet lifted. And feel your abs, both the whole core on the front and along your spine, working to keep you upright. Shoulders back, chin is lifted. Good, Sarah. Maybe this isn't so hard, then lift one leg. Stay balanced. Maybe you lift the other leg.
Go.
Our next move is called Chopsticks. You'll roll onto your back. Feet are hip width apart. Make a hammock for your head and truly relax your head into your hands, keeping your shoulder blades off the floor. Take your knees so they're directly above your hips. The tendency is to take the knees right above the chest or belly button. That's not the hips. Take them right over the hips. Keep your lower back pressed into the floor. Lift your shoulder blades. Knees are bent. Take your legs and straighten them so they look like chopsticks. Take a deep breath. Lift your shoulders again. With the leg that is lower, in our case it's the right, take it down for one and up for one. Down and up, down and up. Both legs are long and strong. Sarah.
In theory.
Lift those shoulders. Press your lower back down and your mid back. Come on, Sarah. Lift. You'll be in this position for 1 minute. After a minute, switch. Take your right leg up. Take your left leg down, creating chopsticks on the other side. Press your lower and mid back into the floor. Lift your shoulder blades up, down and up. Down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch. If you need more challenge, you take your top leg down, lower at a diagonal. If you need less challenge, you bend both your knees.